I hear this question all the time. Brianna, I'm really good at staying on track during the week, but on the weekends, I fall off the wagon. On the weekends is when I have the most trouble. I don't know how to survive the weekends. Today, my friends, I am going to help you get through your weekend on track. Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking all about staying on track during the weekend time. We are embarking on the summertime season, which in my world means lots of cookouts, lots of parties, lots of end of the year gatherings and summertime soirees, and it is the perfect opportunity to regularly end up off track every single weekend. Now, this of course applies all year round. In the winter, you've got holiday parties, you've got Thanksgiving, you've got all sorts of stuff. There are basically excuses to get off track on the weekends, all times of the year. So while I'm uploading this just in time for the summertime parties, this information is relevant all year round. Let's talk about some of my top tips for staying on track on the weekends. The easiest thing to tell you to do is to not think of the weekend as a weekend. It's not a time off. It's another day just like Monday or Wednesday or Thursday. So when you stop thinking of the weekend as an opportunity to go hog wild to begin with, that is really going to help rein you in mentally and be like, no, it's just another day. So that is really important to keep in mind. The weekend is not an opportunity to jump off the wagon and get run over by it repeatedly. The weekend is just another day to stay on the wagon. With that information, let's move forward with some of my top tips. First, make sure you're eating your regular meals. It is so tempting for all of us to hoard all of our calories, all of our points, all of whatever we're tracking for whatever the big event is of the weekend or of the day. And this really, really has the power to destroy us because we end up going to said event hungry. When you wake up on Saturday morning or whatever day it is, eat breakfast like you normally would. Eat your meals like you normally would. Maybe lighten up a little bit or bulk it up with some vegetables instead of something else, but do not starve yourself for the sake of an event you're going to later, because that is just asking for a disaster to happen. Once you see that spread, odds are you're going to lose your mind if you are hungry and you're just going to go all in and you're going to end up off the rails anyway and probably consuming more calories or points than you had originally saved to begin with. So do not go to events hungry. Eat your meals like normal. Limit your alcohol intake. We all love having a beer or a wine spritzer or something at the summer barbecue, but beware. Yes, alcohol is fun. Getting a buzz is fun, but you know what happens when we start to do that? Our inhibitions start to go down. And while making poor food choices is the least of the poor choices that we could be making, it's not so bad in the grand scheme of things. If you're on a diet and trying to stay on track, being buzzed or slightly intoxicated can open the floodgates to making poor choices, which can include eating far too much food. I know that when I have a drink or two, I am much more likely to want to eat more food. So limiting your alcohol intake could be just a little precautionary guardrail that you could put up to help yourself stay on track. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. It is the weekend, which means that rest is usually in good supply unless you make the choice to stay up far too late and then get up far too early. Regardless of what day of the week it is, for me, when I am getting poor sleep, it shows in what I'm eating because I have to turn to food for more fuel than I normally would have to use it for. And I have to turn to quick spikes for fuel. I turn to sugar. I turn to fried foods. I turn to all of the foods that we shouldn't necessarily have all the time because of the quick burst of unhealthy energy that it gives us instead of focusing on long burn energy by making the right food choices. So when it's the weekend, why not take the opportunity to go to bed a little bit early, or if you end up staying up a little bit late and you have the opportunity, sleep in a little bit longer. Don't sleep your day away. I do not like having people or myself sleep their weekends away. If that's how you do it, then you do you. But in my mind, it is a waste of my weekend and I really enjoy my weekends. But I will sleep in, say, an hour if I go to bed super late. Or if we're not doing anything, I'll go to bed early because I have that opportunity to sleep a little bit longer. The more rested you are, the easier it's going to be for you to stay on track. So if the weekend is a time that you can catch up on sleep, I highly recommend that you do it. Approach is everything. So my best advice to you is to enjoy things in moderation. Yes, it's the weekend. Yes, it's time to party and have a great time. And you can enjoy and you should enjoy. Life is not about dieting 24/7. Let the diet go and live your life, but be smart about it. If there is something you know you are going to want, enjoy it in moderation. For example, it is fine for you to go out to dinner with your husband or your girlfriend or whatever it is and have something you wouldn't normally have. But instead of going all in on a meal that is just complete with fried appetizers and a dish covered in fat and a dessert that's a mile-high piece of cake, pick and choose where you are going to give. Pick 1 or 2 indulgences to have instead of just blowing the entire meal. For example, a healthy salmon dinner. You get your salmon, you get your vegetables as a side, but then your other side is this macaroni and cheese that you really, really love. Or the whole main meal, your salmon and your baked chicken or whatever it is, and your steamed vegetables is your main course, but you decide to have a piece of bread from the bread basket, and then you decide to indulge in some dessert. You have 2 little bookends of splurging and enjoying and indulging, but the main part of the meal is still something that is perfectly on track for you. When you're going to that family barbecue, go ahead and make room for those baked beans and for that corn on the cob, but maybe don't drench the corn on the cob in butter. Or maybe you decide to have fruit for dessert, so you can drench your corn on the cob in butter. I'm not saying deprive yourself completely, but I am saying choose 1 or 2 things to enjoy and then leave the rest on track. This will make sure that you don't feel deprived and end up going into binge mode, but you still feel like you can participate in the event that is happening. Also keep in mind that just because there's tables mile long of food or there's endless food possibilities doesn't mean that you have to partake in a mile of all of them. If you are at a cookout, have 1 cookie, have 1 spoonful of that dish that looks really good, have 1 spoonful of that pasta salad, and have 1 piece of meat. You don't have to pile your plates on just because the food presented is plentiful. Enjoy everything in moderation. Start with 1 plate, enjoy it, and then wait to see if you really want something else instead of overindulging right from the beginning. The food will still be there if you do decide to go back for seconds, but give your body and your brain the chance to understand whether or not it actually wants more food or not. This will allow you to slow down, really make mindful choices, and then you can pick and choose where you want to indulge or overindulge if you decide to do so. But going at it mindlessly and with the lack mindset is not the way to do it. Here's a novel idea. Use those weeklies that they give you. When you are on a plan like me, one of the Weight Watchers plans, I'm on the old plan, Points Plus, but the concept is the same even in the new one. You have your daily allotment of points, and then you have your weekly allotment of points, which can be extra if you need to dip into them. If you know you're going to an event, use your weeklies. That's what they're there for. They're there so you don't have to feel deprived. If you can go to a party, eat a breakfast, eat a lunch, and then go to the event and you dip into even 10 or 15 of your weeklies, but you walk out of that party feeling fully satisfied and not like you lost complete control, you can go through the rest of the weekend on track and content with the way you are living this healthy lifestyle. Because that's what this is. This is a lifestyle. And part of that lifestyle is learning how to handle life's parties and major events and weekends without completely losing our mind. So use those weeklies because that is literally the purpose of the weeklies. So you can enjoy things without feeling deprived. Have a plan. I am a planner girl through and through, and I really like knowing what is coming in the days, weeks, and even months ahead. I highly suggest that at the beginning of your week or the end of your week, before your weekend, look at your calendar and understand exactly what the situation is for the week. Do you have 1 cookout? Do you have 3 cookouts? Whatever it is, make sure you know and have a clear picture beforehand so you can make a plan. This is where I'm going to indulge. This is the healthy dish that I'm going to bring to this party, so there is something that is on plan there for me. These are the meals I'm going to have to make sure I am eating but still have points left over to enjoy this event. When you have a plan, you are much more likely to succeed than when you go into it willy-nilly and go, oh shoot, well I was going to go out to dinner with these people on Friday and then I have this family dinner on Sunday and then on Saturday we have this cookout that could last 5 hours and involve beer, desserts, and all sorts of grilled barbecue food. It's okay if that's what your schedule looks like. If it blindsides you because you completely forgot, you're much less likely to have a secure plan in mind, and you're gonna throw up your hands and just walk in completely unprepared. Whereas if you're ready, you can look at the menu for the restaurant you had plans to meet a friend at for dinner. Look at the menu beforehand, make a choice, and then you can act accordingly. Bring the dish to the barbecue and make sure it's prepped beforehand, and ask mom what's on the menu for family dinner on Sunday so you can make sure that you have divvied up your points in a proper manner. Something as simple as looking ahead and understanding what your schedule is could really truly save you panic and hassle and all the things that just could cause you to throw up your hands and say, I don't care, and go hog wild. My next tip is to simply meal prep. It's the weekend, so why not use the extra time and the freedom to go ahead and prep for not only the week, but some food for the weekends as well. When you are using your weekend time wisely, the result is not only going to be a healthier weekend, but you're also going to set yourself for success the rest of the week. So take a couple hours, meal prep a couple of things on a Sunday afternoon or a Saturday morning whenever you have the downtime, and then you will be mentally in the headspace of prepping yourself for success, and then hopefully your actions will help you follow through. And then my last tip, which is probably the most important tip to take through any day of the week, but keep your goals in mind and your attitude in check. First, it's very important that we always keep at the forefront of our minds what our goals are and why. Why is your goal to lose 25, 40, 100 pounds? Why is your goal to get healthy? Why is your goal to stay fit? Why is your goal to not overindulge at this weekend's barbecue? As long as you are thinking about that goal, odds are keeping that goal in mind is going to outweigh the desire to overeat on a weekend event. I can't remember the exact quote. It's probably a Rachel Hollis quote, but what is more important, what you want now or what you want most? For example, those trays of desserts and those plates of food and the menu of your favorite restaurant could be staring you in the face, and you could decide to give in to what you want right now. But stop for a second and think about your goals. Think about what you want most. Does that item look and sound as good now as it did 5 seconds ago? If it does still sound good, that's fine. Go ahead and order it. It's not going to be the end of the world. I promise you, it's not going to be the end of the world as long as you choose to get back on track the next time you eat. That's what people forget. The all or nothing mindset, which is part of the check your attitude. The all or nothing mindset is the wrong mindset. Oh shoot, I ate this wrong thing. Oh shoot, I binge ate a little bit last night. Well, my weekend's entirely shot. No, your weekend is not entirely shot because you made one wrong choice. No, the next time you eat is an opportunity to turn it all around, which is glorious. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to know that you could have a slip up, or it's not even a slip up. You chose to eat that piece of cheesecake. I choose to eat the piece of cheesecake. I do. Or the Portillo's cake, or the baked beans, or the corn drenched in butter, or whatever your weekend food of choice is on any given weekend. But I also fully acknowledge that if I overindulged at dinner the night before, my breakfast the next morning had better be on track, healthy, clean, and fuel my body properly to help me rebound after that indulgent meal. Just because you overate the desserts at the family barbecue doesn't mean you have to go home and raid your pantry for a whole binge eating session. You have the power to indulge, enjoy, and then make proper decisions the very next time you choose to put food in your mouth. That is where a lot of people fall. That is where you need to keep your attitude in check. The all or nothing mindset will fail you on this journey. So keep your attitude in check, keep your goals in mind, and enjoy your weekends, my friends. That's all I've got for how to stay on track during the weekends. Let me know in the comments below what some of your top tips for staying on track on the weekends are. If you like videos like this, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already joined the Diva in the Divine community, I would love to have you. Click that little red button right down there and boom, you're a member. If you want me to address more commonly asked questions like this, go ahead and leave some questions you might have and want me to answer down below, because I'm always looking for content that is going to help you stay on track and reach your goals. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch. Take care. I'll see you next time.